Yeah, I mean, I'd say that Metallica is probably the most important band for me. It was me and my father had a real close connection as far as music goes, and he showed me Metallica at a real young age. 'Cause he was into all sorts of blues, rock and roll, and metal, and so he liked a lot of the, like Led Zeppelins, Jimi Hendrix, stuff like that. But Metallica was the first like properly heavy thing that I got into, and I attached myself to it like pretty immediately. The whole discography that was out at the time, I was like huge fans of. I was so young that I was just kind of taking it all in. So I'd say Metallica is probably the most important band. I think that there's a lot of things that go into it because there's the engineering side of it where there's the mix of the record, and there's technically heavy, which is very important, and I think sometimes just as important as the latter. But like I said, the latter being the emotional heaviness of it, and the kind of just how much that it weighs on like a lyrical level, you know, how deep and how important it is to the person. I think the best records are combining those two things. When you have a really, really well engineered, for whatever it's going for, record, but then with a lot of like heart behind it and real emotion behind it, is where you get the heaviest music. It's hard to explain how exactly it happens. I think a lot of times it feels sort of like throwing paint at a wall, where we're just kind of like waiting for the craziest idea. Like, we're not excited about it until we're laughing at how heavy it is. You know, it's like, it's a very, very fun process because, you know, sometimes you could try a lot and it doesn't work, but when you hit that one moment, you know, it's all about, you know, as far as the grooves versus the upbeats go, I think a lot of the breakdowns, a lot of the grooves are what we center it around, but those grooves only work, those payoffs only work if you know how to get to it and transition to them correctly. It's like, exactly. So like the whole song's got to work in context, you know, and I think that that's what's most important when writing a novel song. Well, we've been playing metal festivals over in Europe and the UK for years now. It's probably been about 5 years of us coming over here, and it's cool how unique it is, and how there really does seem to be an open-mindedness. I mean, we played a festival called Brutal Assault in the Czech Republic yesterday, and it was a lot of the heaviest grooves, a lot of the heaviest bands like Nile and Fetus and like all this crazy heavy stuff, and then a band like us comes up, a more modern, sometimes hardcore influenced band. But as the set was going forth, you could see people's minds open, and that people are just kind of excited to hear music in general. I mean, Crowbar just played right before us. It's like one of my favorite bands, and then to play after them is a blessing, and to see a lot of the people in the same crowd react well to both bands is a really amazing thing. I think that at times it can be the most open-minded genre that there is, and people are welcoming. It feels really, really good to be welcomed in this community, for sure. You know, there's something to be said about the obsession with violence and metal, and, you know, I'd say that there's probably certain subsects of it that take it too far, because when you really look at it, like when you look at the people around you, it's like everyone's here to have a good, positive time. You know, I think that when it comes down to it, a lot of times metal and music like this is an outlet for people to take the negative energy and turn it into a positive form of expression, you know. And so I think just some people have a lot more pent up inside of them. Some people don't. Some people are misunderstood. Some people are not. But coming together at a festival like this, where we can all enjoy the music, I think everyone in their right mind knows that this is a very positive like outlook on things. It's a positive form of expression, whether you're playing or in the audience, you know. And that's always what I come back to.